you to do. Work is done for 6 days, but on the seventh day it shall be set apart to you, a Sabbath of rest to the Creator. Anyone doing work on it is put to death. Do not kindle a fire in any of your dwellings on the Shabbat day. We realize that every time we read, we will be seeing a lot of reference and reminder to honor the Shabbat. It can never be overemphasized. So he gathered Benei Yisrael and he said, these are the things that the Creator has commanded you to do. 6 days work, and the 7th day is set apart to the Creator. And nothing ranks over that. Not even the urgent work of completing the Mishkan overrides the Shabbat. The matter of kindling the fire on Shabbat is specifically, that is forbidden. Even a basic everyday activity must yield to the set apartness of the Shabbat. It's a clear instruction. No matter what the project is, no matter how set apart it is, it's not above the Sabbath. So obedience in times comes before obedience in tasks. So we have to honor the appointed time over honoring any or any appointed task. We've been looking at the Mishkan, the construction of it, and the question might arise as to why the Shabbat is mentioned before the building of the tabernacle. And it really teaches us that sacred work must never replace sacred rest. Even service for the Creator must submit to his rhythm and his commands. The matter of kindling a fire. It shows that even ordinary necessary activities must pause. Shabbat is not casual rest, but a deliberate ceasing that honors the Creator as master over our work. We read on from verses 4 to 9. 4 to 9. And Moshe spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, this is the word which the Creator commanded, saying, take from among you a contribution to the Creator. Everyone whose heart so moves him, let him bring it as a contribution to the Creator. Gold and silver and bronze, purple and scarlet, blue and material, fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and fine leather and acacia wood, and oil for the light, and spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet incense, and shoam stones, and stones to be set in the shoulder garment and in the breastplate. So we're seeing mention of the matter of having a willing heart, and some specific materials were requested. And Moshe was only speaking what Creator commanded him to do, nothing more, nothing less. So he called for a contribution. In Hebrew, that's the word teruma, and it's to come from whoever is of a willing heart. So we should know that giving is not coerced. It is something that is prompted from within. The request that the Creator made is specific, and so it's not clear as to why there's so much misunderstanding of what tithe should be today. Tithe was in crops and in animals, and when the Creator wants precious gold and bronze and silver, he actually says that. So for us to substitute all of that and to be calling it salary, then it is not what was requested. It is really deceived by the pastors and churches today, trying to extract from its congregants. So we see the exact things that are needed, those are requested by the Creator. It's not that he needs these things, but it's a test of our willingness and our heart and our willingness to acknowledge his favor upon us. What lesson can we learn from this? Right, we should know that true giving is heart-led, yet clearly directed. Generosity flows best when there is both inner prompting and concrete purpose. There was a concrete purpose for this, and of course it was prompted by their heart, those who made contributions. Because as the text said, everyone whose heart prompts him, rather than commanding everyone to give the same amount. That was not the case. The Creator, he values willing, joyful obedience. The heart posture matters as much as the material, itself. Acacia wood and other items were effectively gifts from the Creator, given in advance. And so Benei Yisrael and ourselves, we are given the opportunity to give back those gifts that were given to us in advance. Everything we give back to him is something he provided to us first. Our generosity is returning his own goodness. Verses 10 through to 19. And let all the wise-hearted among you come and make all that the Creator has commanded: the dwelling place, its tent and its covering, its hooks and its boards, its bars, its columns and its sockets, the ark and its poles, the lid of atonement, and the veil of the covering, the table and its poles and all its utensils and showbread, and the lampstand for the light and its utensils and its lamps, and the oil for the light, and the incense slaughter place and its poles, and the anointing oil, the sweet incense, and the covering for the door at the entrance of the dwelling place, the slaughter place of ascending offering with its bronze grating, its poles and all its utensils, the basin and stand, the screens of the courtyard, its columns and their sockets, and the covering for the gate of the courtyard, the pegs of the dwelling place and the pegs of the courtyard and their cords, the woven garments to do service in the set-apart place, the set-apart garments for Aharon the priest, and the garments of his sons to serve as priests. There was work to be done, and work on the Mishkan and its vessels. All the wise-hearted people among the people were called to come and make Mishkan and its components. Quite a few components: tabernacle structure, its cover and roof, the partition curtain, the ark, table, showbread, menorah, altars, and all utensils. Oils for the luminary, which was to be made by specialists. It was different from all the other oils that were required. Right? It was produced in a different way. The entry curtain that's at the east, with pillars and basins. This part had no planks on it, only a woven entrance. The stakes and the cords to fasten the hangings and nettings to the ground, netted clothes for covering the ark, table and the altars. Every detail is purposeful in this construction. No piece at all is random or decorative. No piece is without meaning. We must understand that holiness, set-apartness, includes structure, and it includes boundaries. Skill and precision are as spiritual as prayer when devoting to the Creator. We may wonder, why is there such an extensive detail? We must recognize that the presence of the Creator rests where obedience is meticulous. Every boundary, covering, and support preaches holiness and order. Question: what does the partition, curtain, shielding the inner space tell us about access to holiness? It shows that closeness to the Creator is real, but not casual. There are layers of approach and the need for perseverance and preparation. Verse 20. And all the congregation of the children of Israel withdrew from the presence of Moshe, and everyone whose heart lifted him, and everyone whose spirit moved in him came, and they brought the contribution to the creator for the work of the tent of appointment, and for all its service, and for the set apart garments. And they came, both men and women, whose hearts moved them, and brought earrings and nose rings and rings and necklaces, all golden goods, even everyone who made a wave offering of gold to the creator. And every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and rams' skins dyed red, and fine leather brought them. Everyone who would make a contribution to the creator of silver or bronze brought it. And everyone with whom was found acacia wood for any work of the service brought it. And all the wise-hearted women spun yarn with their hands, brought what they had spun, the blue and the purple and the scarlet material and the fine linen. And all the women whose hearts lifted them up in wisdom spun the goat's hair. And the rulers brought showam stones, and the stones to be set in shoulder garment and in the breastplate, and the spices and the oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. The children of Israel brought a voluntary offering to the Creator, all the men and women whose hearts moved them to bring all kinds of work, which the Creator by the hand of Moshe had commanded to be done. What we see is there was an overflow of generosity, both men and women together. The whole congregation withdrew from before Moshe, and then those whose hearts were stirred returned with offerings. It's good to see the women having a role in this glorious project. They brought their jewelry, the rings from all parts of the body, nose ring, finger ring, arm, the waist. Don't know if all of this was really needed, but they brought, and this was precious to them. Men accompanying the women and also bringing their wave offerings. They brought the best materials they had, colored yarn, fine linen, goat's hair, and more. And then the women that were skilled in spinning, especially spinning goat hair, that was a unique skill. They offered their craftsmanship as a gift. Leaders and princes, they didn't have to give much because the people already first to them. All the princes had to do was to submit onyx stones and special items once the people have already provided their essentials. The Spirit was so generous that eventually Moshe must command them to stop giving, and that we're going to see in next chapter 36 verses 6 to 7. What they had enough and more than enough. There are some lessons for us to learn from this. When hearts are stirred, giving becomes joyous and abundant. Men and women stand side by side in generosity. This is how it should be. Sometimes the obedience means knowing when to stop giving once the need is fully met. I like the fact that both men and women responded. So we can learn that building a dwelling for the Creator is a whole community calling. Gifts, skills, and sacrifices from both men and women are honored and are very much needed. Why is it important that Moshe eventually tells them to stop bringing offerings? The answer is, it models integrity in leadership. Resources are not ordered just in case. When the need is met, the community is released, providing the project serves the Creator, not human greed. What you're going to have is that with, foundations and churches and any special temporary project, you don't really hear any of them saying that we have received enough, we have stopped collecting. People just collect and hoard the excess, hoping that there's something else maybe to put it on, meaningful, and in some worse instances using it for personal satisfaction. Let's read the first, the few verses from Shemot chapter 35, verses 30 to 35. And Moshe said to the children of Israel, "See, Creator has called by name Betzalel, son of Uri, son of Or, of the tribe of Yehudah. And he has filled him with the spirit of Elohim in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all work, to make designs, to make work in gold and in silver and in bronze, and in cutting of stones for setting and in carving wood, and to work in all workmanship of design. And he has put in his heart the ability to teach in him, and Oholiav, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. He has filled them with skill to do all work of the engraver and the designer and embroiderer, in blue and in purple, in scarlet material, in fine linen, and a weaver, doing any work, and makers of design." So there we are at the end of the chapter, and we see these two guys, Betzalel and Oholiav, that were endowed to work. Women measure men with different forms of endowment, but this one was endowment to work and to teach. I didn't even realize that Oholiav, he had also had that gift, because when we read earlier, it was about his engineering skill that was much mentioned. But here we realize that regardless of your trade, you have the ability to teach, especially when the Creator imputes his wisdom in you. The guy Betzalel, he is the grandson of a popular person, or from the tribe of Yehudah. He was a respected family man, well known and beloved. Betzalel, on the other hand, he is from the tribe of Dan. Of course, remember that Dan is son of a bondwoman, one of I think it's either Leah's bondwoman, right? But that did not prevent him from serving in a heightened way. His endowment was spiritual and practical, not what it's spiritual and practical. We like to have good teachers, who can pass on whatever is need to be passed on for the benefit of others, right? I like this pairing: popular guy with the least popular guy, Yehudah and Dan, noble and seemingly lesser. But it shows that a noble is not more highly regarded than a poor man in the eyes of the Creator. The Creator fills them and other wise-hearted people with skill to design, embroider, carve, and build exactly as He commanded. We must know that the Spirit equips both leaders and least tribes. Teaching is as much a gift as raw skill. Honor in the kingdom is not tied to birth order or social status. So we have gone through, we're at the end of the chapter, Shemot chapter 35, and it shows that what restored relationship looks like in practice. People who once used their gold for a calf now bring their treasure willingly to build a dwelling for the Creator. The same hands that fashioned the idols now fashion holiness. The same community that once forgot Shabbat now hears it reaffirmed before any work begins. We have read, and I think this reading invites us to offer our time, our resources, and skills back to the Creator with willing hearts, honoring His Shabbat, embracing His order, and trusting that the Spirit can fill our craftsmanship, our leadership, and even our teaching. The question it leaves with us is simple and searching. What has He already placed in our hands that He is now asking us to bring for His dwelling? That's a question for all of us. What